trunks are good on both sides. Gentlemen, moving over the rules in the dressing room. I want to caution you again to keep this fight clean at all times, protect yourself at all times, and what I say you must obey. Good luck to both of you. Touch them up. Bring it here. Bring it here. Touch it up. All right.
All right, two undefeated Boricuas, as Lupe Contreras put it. Joseph Adorno is in the gold, silver, and black. Kevin Cruz in the black with red, white, and blue. A couple of guys who have racked up a lot of victories, mostly by knockout. In Adorno's case, he's 9 for 9. He rarely gets out of round 1, let alone round 2. He has never seen a third round as a professional fighter. And it's round 1 for Adorno and Cruz.
I'm looking for this to be a firefight really early.
You know, a lot of people talk about a few other top-ranked prospects that come up in the same class as Adorno, and they don't often mention him, but I'm telling you, man, this guy has got power. He's got boxing ability. He's got the swagger, and he's got, so far, the record to back it up. 9 wins, 9 by knockout, 7 of them first-round knockouts. So I really like Blessed Hands Adorno.
He's got Robert Garcia in his corner, who mostly trains Mexican fighters, but Garcia says that Adorno has the Mexican style, reminds him of Miguel Cotto.
Yeah, between Robert and his dad, I mean, he's got 2 great guides, you know, leading him, showing him the way.
He's just patient. I like how his patience is. He's waiting for the perfect shot.
Well, this is already longer than most of Adorno's fights.
You can see the difference on the punches, how they've been delivered from Cruz to Adorno. Adorno got a little bit more snap on his punches. Cruz is just kind of like just flicking them out there.
Good. Nice rhythm. Keep that rhythm going.
Well, this should be a good test for Adorno. Cruz can fight. Beat Deontay Wilson with a second-round knockout in his last bout. Got his eye split open early in that fight, begged for another round, and then scored a knockout.
Cruz only his second fight in 2018. I'd like to see prospects be a little bit more busy than that. Adorno, 9 fights in 20 months. So
wow,
that's
a lot of fights.
That's a lot of fights. When you're getting out of there in 1 round, I mean, you're ready to go the very next week, if not the next month. So that's to the benefit of Adorno.
The difference in this fight is going to be the speed and the accuracy.
Adorno won his second career fight in just 18 seconds. His third fight in 45 seconds.
Keep that hook on the outside. There you go.
Left followed by the right. Adorno's got a plan as he pushes back on Cruz. Cruz hit him with a left. There's a big left from Adorno. It rocked Cruz as Kenny Bayless steps in.
His knee touched the canvas, although it was quick. That's why he's getting the count.
I told you the difference is the speed and accuracy.
And the great body work by Adorno. Those hooks to the body are lethal. And then he comes right back up top. Body head.
Kevin Cruz survives the first round.
That was a nice first round.
And that is not something that a lot of fighters have done against Adorno in his 10th fight. This is only the 3rd time he's gone into round 2. And Cruz just barely made it. Kevin Cruz, whose father is a minister, opened many Spanish-speaking churches in Iowa. It's a big contingent from Waterloo, Iowa, watching tonight, I'm sure, as we take a look at the Adorno family, plus Robert Garcia instructing Joseph Adorno. Adorno's father, Anibal Adorno, was set to turn pro many years ago and then injured his right eye right before his pro debut. So that debut never came, and he's trained his son, Joseph, ever since. As Kevin Cruz went down, and looked like it went down initially, but according to that replay, that left knee never touched.
Well, the rope held him up. So that's why some referees look at it If the ropes hold you up, they can consider it a knockdown.
And I think that's what Kenny Bayless saw. I mean, just inches off the canvas was his knee. So 10-8 round for Adorno. I think it's in Cruz's best interest that he box a little bit more and not try to get in a firefight with Adorno. He kind of stood in there and tried to bang with him, and obviously that didn't work out too well. So he needs to get back to working off the jab and moving around a little bit more here in round two.
He got to pick up his hand speed. His hand speed is not there. You know, they say power always follows speed. See, one thing you don't want to do as you with Cruz, see how slow his jab is? Adorno can counter that jab.
There's a good left hand from Cruz that found Adorno.
Absolutely, right through the guard. Like if Adorno was sleeping for a second. Maybe that'll wake him up.
Wake him up a little bit, yeah. Let's see if Cruz is a little bit more prepared for Adorno when as his round progresses.
Step to your left, step to your left.
Joseph Adorno says it was never his goal to be an Olympian, never to be a great amateur. He wanted to be a great pro, a world champion. A chance for a 10-0 start to his career against Kevin Cruz, who did get knocked down in the first round.
Nice hook. There you go. Keep that hook on the
Nobody has ever made it through round two against Adorno.
outside. Side to side, up and down, up and down.
Adorno look like he wants to pick it up a little bit. Cruz got some good shots in there. The last couple
Side to side. Step on the outside.
shots he didn't throw.
Yeah, Adorno's not throwing too many punches in this round. Cruz has actually been the more active fighter.
Get careless. Keep your hands up. Keep that rhythm going.
See if Adorno turns it up inside of a minute. In this second round, scheduled for 6.
Yeah, if Adorno doesn't pick up his activity level in this fight, I mean, excuse me, in this round, it's a Cruz round.
I think he's looking for a certain shot.
He is, but you have to throw, at
that's-
least to pop your jab out there, throw some punches. You're not getting any points just sitting there bobbing side to side.
Cruz kind of slipped as he went in with that right hand.
So what happens when the southpaw versus the orthodox? Cruz is looking for that double jab left hand. It was there, but he messed it up by stepping on that foot of Adorno. There you go, trying it again.
This has been the longest fight of Adorno's pro career. He has never been taken to round 3, but Kevin Cruz has managed to get through 2 rounds against Joseph Adorno.
But much respect for each other. I think Adorno didn't earn Cruz respect.
I wonder, too, in some ways, Cruz being left-handed, Adorno being right-handed. If for Adorno, this is almost like fighting in a mirror. That these two have very similar styles and are just of opposite stance.
Yeah, well, Adorno just got a little bit more speed to him, a little bit more pop to his punches.
Yeah, but right there, Cruz hit him flush. I mean, he's got to keep those hands up. Caught him with the left, straight left hand, right through the guard when Adorno went to throw that left hand, which is his jab hand out of the southpaw stance.
When does Adorno's corner start to think about, well, this is 3, 4, 5 rounds, and start to think about his conditioning for a fight that he's never had to really do before?
Oh, but they spar so many rounds in the gym. He's in great condition, although obviously being in a fight is completely different than sparring. But I mean, you're sparring,
You
spar, a couple hundred rounds.
Yeah.
So I don't think, although we have never had to see him into round 3, I'm not too concerned about his conditioning with the training that he gets there in Riverside with Coach Robert Garcia.
Round 3 scheduled for 6 between these two undefeated fighters. Kevin Cruz in the black and Joseph Adorno in the gold.
Kevin Cruz actually came up to Colorado Springs a couple weeks ago. He sparred with actually Jamel Herring, Ismail Mwindu. Those guys just not too long fought on the Top Rank show. Jamel just won a USBA title.
And how was
at
that work?
130.
How was that work with them in their sparring?
Oh, it worked out pretty good for him. You know, he stayed like a week and a half, but you know, like you said, his dad was a minister, so he had to get back to the church, and but he wanted to stay, but you know, duty calls for his dad. I was impressed. He actually went, I think, maybe 10 rounds with Steven Shakur.
With Shakur Stevenson?
Yeah, Shakur Stevenson.
Well, then that explains how he's got Adorno to round 3. He's a good fighter. Bomac giving us some insight from Colorado Springs. And I mean, if his record didn't tell you, I mean, he's doing quite well here in the early rounds against Adorno.
Adorno was strong in round 1, but Cruz has battled back in rounds 2 and 3 so far.
So to me, it's 1-1.
Yes, I agree.
1-1, and then I'm giving Cruz this round.
He's more active.
Yeah, Adorno's not throwing anything. He's waiting. He's waiting for that perfect shot.
And he can land it, and he's landed it 9 times in 9 tries. But the issue is that when you're looking for just that one knockout shot, you're steadily winning rounds. And I think Robert Garcia just said it. He's looking for that one punch, and that's not going to win him these rounds if he doesn't land it and drop him.
You know, and I believe Cruz has found his distance. You know, look like it's hard for Adorno to try to get that right hand in there. If you look, every time Adorno comes in, Cruz will take that step backwards. So that he's found that range. And when he's going back, he's also punching too. So
30 seconds. You gotta pick it up. Joseph, come on.
Cruz, 27 years old. Adorno, just 19.
There you go. Keep going. You're letting too many chances go away. There you go.
Cruz missed with that left hand,
Pick it up.
but he has been in control the last couple of
he's
rounds.
sitting back on that back leg. He's sitting back on that back leg waiting for that shot.
Joseph Adorno, for the first time in his career, he's been tested. He's halfway through a 6-round battle. Round 4 scheduled for 6. 2 undefeated fighters with a lot of power. Joseph Adorno 9-0 with 9 knockouts. Kevin Cruz 8-0 with 5. Adorno's usually done by the end of the 2nd round, having knocked out his opponent, but that has not been the case against Cruz, who has been a viable competitor through the first 3 rounds and change in this fight scheduled for 6.
And when you're knocking out every opponent in the 1st and 2nd round, it is up to the matchmakers at Top Rank to start matching you against guys that maybe will give you some better work, and you kind of take a step up in competition. And that's exactly what we're seeing tonight. Not only is he giving him good work, he's winning some of these rounds.
I'll give it to it's 2-1. 2-1 right now for Cruz.
So you get cocky, you get confident, knocking every guy out, and that's like, oh, okay, now it's time to take a step up. And you got to raise your level of competition as well.
There was a knockdown of Cruz in the 1st round.
And that could be the difference right now in the fight, why it's probably going to be even.
Adorno's been in cover-up mode for the last 2 or 3 rounds.
Adorno's, got his hands high. He's telling him no, none of that's doing anything. He's looking probably to try to walk him down. His corner is looking for a little bit of urgency out of him. Those last 2 rounds didn't have an urgency in it. Cruz just cruising. He's just cruising to those last 2 rounds. He's won them to me.
Almost seemed like once Cruz answered the bell at the end of round 1, that Adorno just kind of shut down. He didn't know what to do next.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was almost like, oh, okay, he's tougher than maybe I thought he was going to be.
1 minute. Come on, pick it up.
But that's why you can't underestimate any of your opponents, especially when you're coming in against a guy that's a highly touted prospect, 9-0, 9 knockouts.
Yeah.
You're going to get the very best from your opponent every single night.
And one thing I did stress to his corner over there, which is Marcus. Marcus, you got a guy over there
In the Cruz corner.
in the Cruz corner. Is this is an opportunity for him. This is a big opportunity. Seize the moment.
Adorno fighting back here toward the end of round 4. A right hand connected there from Adorno as these two exchange punches.
Adorno looked like for a second he might have had him hurt, but he kind of closed back up into his guard. He needs to continue to let his hands go right there.
And round 4 ends with a right hand from Adorno. Cruz a slow walk to his corner.
Some of them shots may have got to him.
Kevin Cruz, the son of a minister, opened a bunch of Spanish-speaking churches around the state of Iowa. Puerto Rican-born Cruz started getting into some fights while he was in middle school. His minister dad suggested that he learn how to fight in a ring. It's worked out into a nice career for Kevin Cruz, who is 8-0 so far, with 5 knockouts as round 5 is set to begin in just a few moments. And for Joseph Adorno, by far and away now, his longest and his toughest fight, as he gets some encouragement from his father, Anibal, in the corner.
They want to see some sense of urgency out of Adorno.
Joseph Adorno wants to be a world champion. That's why he has pursued this career. He's given up and sacrificed pretty much anything outside of boxing to be a 19-year-old with 9 fights already under his belt. He's won them all by knockout, but he's been tested by Kevin Cruz here in the 5th round, scheduled for 6.
Put your combinations together.
Let's see his corner
Throw 1 punch at a time. Let's go.
is on him.
Bend those
We
knees.
need more.
Let's
We
go.
need
Come on.
more out of you.
Pick it up. Back
I don't
him up.
understand
Come on.
Spanish, but it seemed like this is what he's saying. I need more out of you. I need more stronger, faster shots out of you.
At least that's what you would be telling him
Yeah,
if you were
come
in
on,
his
man.
corner.
Let's go. You got to pick up the pace a little bit.
And Cruz making the most of his opportunity
Yeah.
here on ESPN Plus. He knows that a lot of eyes are not only on Adorno, but watching this broadcast tonight. And he's, like you said, Bomac, you saw him in camp there, and you told us to look out for him, and he's making Adorno look out right
Come on,
now.
keep going. Back him up. Let's go.
He's right there in this fight.
And this is he's a grown man. He's 27 years old, you know, and he upset his last guy by a knockout.
There's a push to the ground as Adorno took a tumble.
Come on, Joseph. Let's go. Stay on him. Stay on him. Keep going. Keep going.
It's almost like Adorno has abandoned his jab.
Yeah.
He's just
He
looking
just
into
looked for
going
that
with
one
power
shot,
shots.
yeah.
Keep working.
And see how he came in there, but not without his jab, and he got caught with a good right hook. He's doing the same thing. He hit him, he get hit right back.
Everything's a power
Come
shot.
on, stay on him.
He is
Stay
in
on
there
him.
with a professional in
Left on the
Kevin
outside. Keep
Cruz.
your left foot on the outside. Keep going. Keep going.
Cruz has brought the fight to Adorno. Not really seen Adorno catch him since that first round knockdown.
But this is a better start to this round for Adorno. He's been more active, more punch output so far in round 5 than we've seen in rounds 2, 3, and 4.
But this round been a little bit more tit for tat, you know. Or Adorno hit him with a couple shots. Cruz will come back and hit him with a couple shots.
Stay on him. Stay on him.
I just feel like Adorno's been just a little bit more, thrown a little bit more.
You might see a little bit more power and speed,
Sure.
you know. But I think the punch output is just the same. Adorno punches just look a little bit stronger.
Double jab right hook.
Fair enough.
30 seconds. Double jab right hook.
See, look how he pulled off. Now he had Cruz moving backwards, coming in with some good shots, but then he pulls back. You know, the judges always remember what they last seen. Always remember that.
Okay, now you
Battle of undefeated fighters. A 6-round fight is scheduled. And we will see round 6 between Adorno and Cruz. Kevin Cruz has come to Las Vegas, 8-0 with 5 knockouts, trying to take down the also undefeated Adorno. And if you're an upset-minded fighter here, Bomac and Kevin Cruz, how do you want to finish this thing?
I'm coming out strong, man. I'm coming out. I'm going to try to knock your head off. I'm going to try to back you up because I've got a chance of maybe pulling off right now and going into the last round. I got a chance of pulling off a draw. If I can get this last round, because it looked like I didn't win the last 4 rounds, I can pull off the upset. So I'm coming out blazing.
Yeah, I'm really curious. I mean, I think the scorecards could really be all over the place. I mean, I wish I could get a sneak peek and see, but if I'm either corner, I'm saying, like, you know, you got to go in there and try to knock this guy out because this round could be the round that decides the fight.
Right.
They've been some very close rounds, aside from round 1.
Right, round 1.
Where it was a knockdown, that wasn't quite a knockdown, but as you mentioned, the ropes kind of held him up there. So could that be the difference? They better put it all out on the line right here.
Joseph Adorno is a young fighter with world championship aspirations. He's 9-0 with 9 knockouts. And he's been taken to the limit by Kevin Cruz here tonight in Las Vegas.
You can hear Robert Garcia saying to put punches together. He wanted to punch in bunches. He wants those big shots, 3 and 4 at a time.
Pick it up, finish strong.
Will we see that sense of urgency from Adorno, who's never needed one in a professional fight?
You know, that was a good hook.
Let's work up and down.
Look at Adorno's face and look at Kevin Cruz's face. I kind of tell you a little bit of something right there. Who might have the most power? Who's lumping up, as they would say.
If it does come to the judges' scorecards, it will be a very interesting decision.
You can hear the crowd. The crowd is getting into it because they understand. They understand that. Oh, nice left hand, straight down the pipe.
From Cruz.
Yeah.
And Cruz working off the jab, something that Adorno's not doing.
Oh.
Cruz with a combination. Ever since a knockdown in the first round, Kevin Cruz has been on a mission.
He looks like he's got a little confidence, a little swagger. Like he knows, hey, I might have this fight in the bag, which we don't know. It's been a very close fight.
You know, when I got here, I went and found Cruz. I went and found him, and I went to his dressing room, and I felt the energy, and I was telling him, man, this is an opportunity for you. You know, even though that you may come in as an opponent, you can steal the kid's joy. You can steal the kid's spotlight, you know. And he understands that. He went to his last fight the same way. He knocked out a prospect out of Wisconsin, but, you know, hey, he could do it this time.
That was Deontay Wilson on July 21st in Oshkosh. Here in Vegas tonight. Capital! And it's Cruz who goes down. Nearing the end of round 6. It was a left hand from Adorno that dropped Cruz at the worst possible time for Kevin Cruz.
Oh, it don't look like his legs
right
there.
Now they're swinging punches. Lefts and rights from both.
Oh.
Be smart. The fight's yours.
Cruz ain't backing down.
And Adorno, like Robert said, be smart. The fight's yours.
18
don't
seconds.
get careless.
18 seconds.
Adorno had a knockdown in round 1. He's had a knockdown here in round 6.
Slip.
And as time winds down, it's been a competitive fight.
They want him to move around. They don't want him to take any chances because Cruz was fighting back. Nice fight. Nice fight.
Joseph Adorno battled back. The knockdown in round 1, and then he laid low for a few rounds. Cruz got some points. And to finish off round 6, it was Kevin Cruz who tasted the mat once again. We'll get the decision when we come back.
Las Vegas.
We just saw an incredible fight between Joseph Adorno and Kevin Cruz, and when it looked like Adorno might have a tough time winning by decision, he plopped Cruz on the ground at the end of round 6. We'll see if that was the difference as we hand it off to Lupe Contreras.
Ladies and gentlemen, after going all 6 rounds, we consult the official scorecard to determine a winner. Judges Migliore and Burr turned in identical scorecards of 59-53, and Judge Morse Jarman scores it 58-54. All in favor of the winner by way of unanimous decision. Blessed hands, Joseph Adorno.
Keep in mind, when it comes to those decisions, keep in mind there were probably 2 rounds that were 10-8.
Yeah.